Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Terry.
And we're Escaping the Empty Nest.
So hi, we just got back from our trip to Europe recently, and one of the things that we wanted to share with you was our decision on what to do about data for our phones.
What we ended up deciding, we used a Wi-Fi hotspot from a company called travelwifi.com. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to try something different than what most people do. Most people who go over to Europe for vacation do one of two things. They end up either replacing their SIM card in their phone with a local SIM card, or what they end up doing is just getting a package from their own phone company, which allows them a certain amount of data for each day.
So our carrier is Verizon, and so we looked into Verizon to see what it would cost us to use Verizon's data plan. So for $10 per phone per day, we were going to be allowed a half a gigabyte of data, which I know we would run through quickly. That could be over $300 by the time we return home on our Verizon bill.
The SIM cards are more affordable. They're usually between, I think, 60 and 80 for a 2-week period. One of the reasons we didn't use that is because we were going to be over in Europe for longer than 2 weeks, and I didn't want to have something where we'd be over there until Friday, and on Wednesday the plan would run out, and we'd have to figure out what else we were going to do for 2 more days. Some of them could be topped off, but it was just an ordeal, and we decided to try something like travelwifi.com, which did allow us to say the exact number of days we wanted the plan for, and it was rather affordable, and we got 5 gigabytes per day, which is a ton. Way more than we could ever use. 5 gigabytes per day for both of us to share. She brought her tablet. We could use the tablet with the Wi-Fi too. So it was something that you could share up to 5 or 10 devices or something, all off the one box. And we got an off-season special back in January. I think it was a Christmas special they were running. If you ordered it by December 31st, you got 25% off. We got the 16-day package for $113 for the entire trip with all that data, which I thought was really good. We were really excited about it.
And it was really good. It seemed to work really well in the bigger cities that we were in. So we had some great experiences with it there. But we noticed when we were starting to go into smaller places, smaller cities, smaller towns, if we were on a bus, if we were on a train, sometimes it got a little bit quirky where we weren't getting as good a signal. We would have to depend on Wi-Fi on a train or a bus instead of the box. And we even had difficulty going from country to country.
Austria was the best. For some reason, it worked flawlessly in Austria wherever we went, except for the trains. But I'd say even when we took the car, we took a car most of the way through Austria, and it seemed to get a signal. I don't know why Austria was better. Austria is fabulous. Love the Austria. But as soon as we hit Italy, it was terrible. We barely ever got a signal in Venice, and we had to rely on restaurant Wi-Fi, hotel Wi-Fi. Between the cities in Italy, completely dead. Nothing. Which wasn't a problem because, again, we took the Trenitalia train from place to place. Rome was the worst. We barely ever got a signal in Rome. And it was a little disappointing in Italy. Again, Austria was great. Germany was good. France was pretty good. We did hit some annoying outages in France, Paris, and certainly Normandy and Bayeux. These things have a display that has solid lights if you have a good signal. And sometimes I just wasn't getting a solid light at all. I'd get a flashing light, and I'd have to try to reboot the box to see what I could do to get a signal to come back. And I actually considered, even as early as when we were leaving Paris and heading to Munich, about just abandoning it completely and going back to the normal SIM card.
The reason we didn't do that is because we didn't want to lose our phone numbers. We found during the trip that there were times when a hotel would need to reach us or something, or if we had a tour planned and the tour people needed to tell us there was an adjustment to the time, they had our phone number from the U.S., and if we had changed our SIM cards out, that would have caused a great deal of difficulty, especially whenever we were in Pompeii. Our hotel for Rome called us during the middle of the tour there. If they hadn't been able to reach us, we may not have been able to find out that there was an issue with our reservation.
Issue being they moved us to a completely different hotel, which is a subject of a whole different video that's coming out. But yeah, I was really glad that we had our existing numbers, because I made these reservations a long time ago. Now, since then, we've added our Google Voice numbers and started to give those out for international. But it was almost impossible to try to tell everybody that you had made reservations with your normal U.S. number and contact them retroactively and hope they changed it, so we didn't even try. Now, it is a little expensive to receive texts and receive calls on your existing U.S. number, but compared to the cost of having the Verizon plan, it wound up being okay. Even though I took a phone call, I think I received 19 texts while I was over there, and I returned one. It added about $10 to our bill. I just got the bill the other day, so it was worth it. Well, I'm really glad we stayed in contact with our normal contacts, whether my job, her job, or people contacting us because of vacation-related, events.
So, would we do it again?
Maybe.
It was worth the experiment. I mean, it came in a little travel pouch like this, and with the cord that you use to recharge it.
European charger, yeah.
And it was also, it's not very big, it's not very bulky. It was no hassle to really carry it in a purse or in his backpack that he carried with him.
Except we had to make sure we also carried a battery pack for us if we were going to be out of the hotel for a while, because they say these things last 12 hours. I wasn't going to trust it. So we always made sure. We basically had it plugged in the whole time. But yeah, we always made sure we had at least a small battery pack, or larger if we had several things to charge up. What grade would you give our experience for this?
I probably would give it a C, mainly because it did work when we needed it. It was convenient to carry around. It was convenient that we didn't have to change our phone numbers. But it still wasn't a good enough grade for me to get any higher than that.
For me, I'd give it a B minus. But probably I could be talked into a C as well. It's a passing grade. It wasn't a total disaster, but there was enough frustration there that I definitely suggest maybe trying a different company that offers a similar service. There's a company, I think it's called Solis, that has a similar device with a larger battery. And there's also a company called, I think it's Hippocketwifi, that has a similar device too. Another option might be purchasing a device like this, that's your own personal device, especially if you travel a lot. But instead of renting your data and renting the device, you purchase a SIM card from Italy, Vodafone or whatever, and that's Germany, or Orange in France, and you purchase a SIM card that will work in every country, maybe one that's a little bit more specific to that country, and it probably would work better with its own country SIM card. Just use Wi-Fi, just like you're on a airplane or something, and it's probably the best of both worlds. You should get to share the data, but you get to keep your phone number in case of emergencies.
So have you used a travel Wi-Fi box like this before, or of a different kind? And what was your experience with it? Let us know in the comments below.
If you want to follow us through our trip, we're about to document this huge 16-day journey all throughout Europe. We already mentioned France, Germany, Austria, Italy. Hit subscribe, hit like, ring that bell for notifications. We'd love to have you along for the entire trip. So we appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.